Well, we see how the Potter's Field title works out. It's interesting that in a 99%, well, maybe not anymore, Catholic country, they feel that it's believable that they'd have to go back and look up the biblical reference and the 30 pieces of silver, and both the characters and the audience. Well, obviously, it's all Catholic, but doesn't mean people are observant. But if you're familiar with the Catholic Mass, they read the Gospels, excerpts from the Gospels all the time. And yeah, the 30 pieces of silver come up during Holy Week, which not quite like Jewish high holidays when people show up. If you're going to show up at all, you're going to come for Christmas and Easter. So who knows? It's still, I guess you got to spell it out for every audience. Anyway, one of the regulars who kind of reappears here that I didn't mention, curiously enough, doesn't reappear. But that's his girlfriend, Livia, who lives in Genoa. And there was an actress who played her, a German actress who was dubbed in Italian. She got kind of written out. But here she's back, and a perfect example of what's a recurring thing in the whole series. Luca Zingaretti, the actor who plays Montalbano, on the phone. His phone conversations, you could excerpt them all and put them in an acting school. Fantastic. Of course, now, here, series considerations come in. We know that Mimi is a trusted subordinate, loyal fellow, and then the problems, he's easygoing. They have their mock disputes and so forth. Of course, he was a terrible womanizer, but he settled down with Biba. So, that moment when he looks at the license plate, and that's the license, and it's Mimi's car. Oh my, it's a shock. Then the moment when he's talking on his balcony, and who's he talking to? Nobody. Talking to an empty chair, thinking out loud. And then in those tour de force little cameos, well, two of them are witnesses. The new father who describes the girl in terms of a car, and the old lady who says, I'm a monarchist. And of course, Montalbano says, Viva the king, hail the king. Yes. And then the comedy moments that I talked about, when Cattarella's crying because Mimi was mean to him, and he says, well, he never does that when I'm mean to him. Oh, well, with you, maybe he holds it in. And then when Montalbano is praising Cattarella, he said, well, just power would range. Like that bald guy, of course. Who's he talking about? Himself. But obviously, these people who play these particular characters of other lives, and it's clear that the man who plays Cattarella, what command, what power, what elocution. He really is a terrific Judas. Wouldn't it be interesting to see him in a classical stage performance? Well, we should live so long. But red-blooded American boys are saying, wait a minute, who's the mystery woman? And what a tour de force in which she seems so vulnerable and hurt, and yet she's been behind it all. It's only her third acting performance. Her name is Belén Rodriguez, and she's from Argentina, moved to Italy eventually. What else? A top model, of course, but has appeared on TV quite a bit as a host of things, done commercials. At one point, she hosted what seems to be the Latino version of Latin America's Next Top Model, I guess. But obviously, a very attractive woman, beautiful woman, shapely woman, but one the camera loves. That's a different thing entirely. And as I said, you believe her. You say, oh, gosh, that poor lost soul. But she set it all up, and she plays both believably. Interesting sidelight. In real life, she's mixed up with a guy named Fabrizio Corona, who runs a photographic agency. You can't make this stuff up. He was sent to the slammer for extorting money to suppress photos of celebrities looking goofy. He said, wait a minute. I offered it to my friends for the same price I might have sold it to other photojournals. It's a photographic agency. It's not a magazine. And that was his excuse. Of course, then, how many months did he serve? Who knows? But he's on the record in police tapes talking about how I'm such an absolute shit. I've ruined people's lives, but I don't feel guilty anymore. Of course, it depends on how he said it, ruefully or complacently. Well, all the twists and turns, the layers, the compassion, the caring for Mimi and how to cover it, what do you do about it, and the betrayals of faith, and just the simple tour de force of acting, camera work, direction. It's a Montalbano. See you next time.